Hey everyone, and welcome to Debug Zone. I'm Sweetman, and today we're diving into some live coding as we polish up our song graduation voting system on CoopRex.fun. While the official account is on hold until we squash these bugs, I'm here to show you all the behind-the-scenes magic before we officially launch voting. For those who are new, here's the scoop. Song graduation, you vote for the next song to drop on CoopRex.fun. The voting mechanics: one coop equals one vote. You only get one shot in this first round, so choose wisely. And deployment: the winning track will get revealed on Friday at 11 a.m. PST with its token airdrop for voters and collectors following shortly. So just grab your coffee, join the conversation in the chat, and watch as I fix these bugs in real time. Your feedback is super valuable, and I'm excited to build this together. Let's get coding and set the stage for some epic music voting. Let's get started. I've got a list of tasks that I want to fix. I'm gonna start with the feedback from the team, play a song, update the voting data, have the votes show my balance, have the countdown count down every second, update the navbar to include an option to vote. And those will be the 5 things that I try to do in 1 hour. Let's see if I can get all that done in the next hour. Step 1, I'm gonna pull the latest changes from main. And I'm going to pull all these changes. Let's open up my instructions. Step 1, set up the entire set of work that I plan on doing. So let's go ahead and construct that. I think my goal is still voting page, so I can just extend this current goal. Let's extend it with some new tasks. We're on number 34. Play song. So I'm going to copy all of my tickets right into the instructions. That way I don't have to think too hard about actually implementing the tasks. I can just copy them in, let the AI see that all the tasks are here and kind of know what the order is sequentially. And then I just get to walk through step by step and have the AI implement the tasks that I wrote. I wrote these tasks myself right before going live. So I planned a little bit off stream, but overall I'm implementing this in real time. So the things we're going to be doing: play the song, like we already said, 36, show my balance, nope, fix the indentation, please don't modify my indentation. Do I have to put a little, how do I make it so that the AI does not modify my implementation? 36, step 37, we'll get the countdown in. So I'm already taking part of the time that I was going to use to build to draw this out, but hopefully all of this setup is going to make it so that when the code actually needs to get written, we can knock it out point by point really quickly. Dookie, 37, number 38, get the navbar updated. Paste in those steps, fix my indentation. Dookie. And that'll be all of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to start with the most important one. We're going to see how far we get in this hour that I've already spent 4 minutes of. And let's see if we can knock out all 5 of these tasks. Save my instructions, and let's get started with the first one. Copy the branch name, go back to my instructions. I've already checked out main, and I've pulled the latest from main, but I'll do it again just to make sure I did. Let's pull. And now that I have pulled, I'm going to check out a new branch, check out to my new branch. Let's publish the branch and let's run the server locally with pnpm dev. I believe we use pnpm here. Yeah, we use pnpm. And let's find out where that shared component is. I'm going to open up a new composer. I'd like to implement step 34. Before starting, let's find the components we want to reuse for album art with on-click music playback. Let's just tell it to go find the code that we want to find so that I don't have to. Let's see if it's able to find it or not. Looks like we've got Song Cover Player, which is a reusable component that handles music playback with cover art. Catalog Song Cover Player, similar functionality but style different, and Featured Song Cover Player, another variant. Let me examine the Song Cover Player component more closely, as it seems to be the most generic and reusable. Let's use Song Cover Player, takes a contract address, a size, and an optional ranking as props, and it integrates with the Music Player Store for playback control. It handles both cover art display and playback control. Has hover states and play pause, supports different sizes, handles unreleased songs. And now it's looking into my voting options table. Let me also check the row. Now it understands we need to replace the image tag. With that, we need to add the contract address to the song data. Let's update the styling to match the current layout purposes before proposing the change. It is adding the contract address that we need. It's importing the Song Cover Player, removing the image. I'm going to blind accept. It seems like it's understanding what we're doing. So let's try just auto accepting what it's saying and see if that works. We should have it working now. Let's go to our browser and go to localhost/vote and see what's over here. What I'm hoping for is that I can click a play button on these song images, because right now you can't listen to it, and so you don't really know what you're voting for. I mean, you know the artist and you know the title, and if you've already heard the song, great, but if you haven't heard the song before, then we're on task 1. We're loading up our local server. We are 7 minutes in to a 60-minute build, and let's see how long it's going to take to actually compile. If it takes longer than another 15 seconds, I'm going to force a faster refresh. Let's try loading it again, unless it just finished. Let's try loading just localhost. So far, compilation is going very slowly. Do I want to crash the server and start again, or do I want to practice patience? Which one is going to reap more effective results at reaching the destination? My instinct says patience, so I will drink another tea and let that serve as an act of patience. It looks like there might be some compilation errors from missing packages. The page has loaded with an error. Let's open up a new terminal. Oh, if the terminal's not already running slow enough, open up another one so that it can install packages while you're live streaming, while you're running a server. Let's just keep adding on to the pile with pnpm-i that should install our missing packages. Well, why don't you just stop the server and let it run just the installation of your packages? Well, you can see how fast that package installation was. Let's see if we can just refresh the page and get it to run the new packages. We might need to crash for the new packages. Is this defined in our package.json? Let's check. Go to package.json, check out this package name. I do see it there, so we should have just installed it. However, we're still not seeing it. Going to try one more hard refresh. Got another 500, so let's crash it and try starting it up. There it is. Let's crash. Try rerunning the server again. Hopefully the second attempt is faster than the first. It's most likely not going to be any faster. Got localhost. Let's start with just the landing page, see if that's any easier or faster. Compiling a generic page. We're waiting for it to say compiling just /. There we go. Took 30 seconds to get to a ready state. Now it's compiling. How long did it take to compile last time? A lot of milliseconds, that's for sure. It looks like it took about 40 seconds last time. No, 173 seconds. If you divide 173 by 60, you get a roughly 3 minutes. So it took roughly 3 minutes for that first response. Hopefully it does not take another 3 minutes. We've been streaming for 13 minutes so far. We have another 47 minutes, and we're just trying to get the initial page to load, let alone implement our changes. Well, we've implemented the change, and we're trying to verify that that change works. Getting started in the dev is the hardest step, going from 0 to 1. Once you build the momentum, it all gets easier. But right now, it's like, I forgot to install my packages. It takes 3 minutes for the server to initially compile. 3 minutes for a server to compile is a very long time. I would like to suggest that we improve our build, because normal Next.js projects take at most 10 or 15 seconds. This time it took 79 seconds, so a little over a minute, but it is faster. Fingers crossed that we don't see any more errors. We're now at least seeing the page. From here, let's try going to /vote. I'll wait for the page to load just to make sure I'm not overpressing it. Slow and steady wins the race. Okay, it looks like the initial page has loaded, even though it's still trying to get more data. So from here, I'll go to vote. Hopefully, this will be the moment of truth. 1, does the page compile? Because so far we have not gotten the vote page to compile. 2, can we at least see the changes of a play button in those hover states? In step 3, if we do see those changes, do they work as expected? And step 4, are there any additional follow-ups after we have implemented those changes that we need to wrap up and clean up before we can ship this as a pull request and get it into production? Looks like we've gotten the options. Wonder what else is being queried. It's got to refresh for some reason. No! Get contract by address. Get contract by address. Where's this being used? In a lot of places. Contract address, voting options. Are we calling it in here? We're not calling it in here. However, we might be calling it inside of the song player cover. So let me undo this change and save that to see if that change is going to fix our error. Cannot read properties of null reading items. I wonder if it didn't actually have a contract address when it was looking for a contract address and it's causing the component to fail. So as we can see, it did not load the first time. We're going to try to walk it back, get it to load a second time with slightly less changes. My current hypothesis is it is not able to use the component because although we have updated to pass in a contract address, that value is null. And so when we pass that value in, it's not working. We have walked it back to green. Let's get back to red by doing Command-Shift-C. This is a process encoding called red-green refactor. Red-green refactor encoding is when a dev will get something to fail, red, you get everything to fail. Then you only make enough changes to get it from failing to passing, so green, and then refactor. Clean it up. If variable names need changed, if you need to do something stylistically or aesthetically, do that in the refactor, and then you loop it. Make it fail, make it pass, make it clean. Make it fail, make it pass, make it clean. Make that circle as tight as possible to iterate quickly on whatever you're changing. We're gonna save this. I'm gonna comment out, make sure we're on the latest change. I'm gonna comment out this song player cover, and I'm gonna console log the song. Console.log song, and let's see what this song object is, and fingers crossed that we didn't just break it just by importing the component. Right click inspect, go to the console tab so that way we can see what is being logged. Clear out these logs, maybe give the page a refresh. We should hopefully see a console.log song over here on the right that will give us more info about what we're actually receiving to see if it does include a contract address or no. My guess is it does not include a valid contract address, and so that will mean we'll need to move higher up the stack and make sure that that contract address is passed down. Alternatively, what could happen here is we do see a valid contract address, and actually what's going on is the component that we're trying to use is not correct. Let's see if we can expand this. Contract address. I see a valid contract address in here. So it's looking like we have the details that we need. CA and a size. Let's drill inside of this song cover player component. Also, why isn't it imported? There it is. Let's control click into it. What's going on in here? Get contract. Here's where that get contract by address is being called. I don't remember what the error is. Let's try to get that error again. And we'll do that by just saving these changes, and then we should see the page crash. There's an error. Please. How are we doing? Did we already get our error again? No. Let's get our error again. There's an error. Please help me debug. File I think is throwing the error is going to be this voting options row component. No, not voting options row. Song player cover. being imported in voting option row, and we check if it's working. It could very well just work now, but I have a feeling it's going to still fail. Uncaught errors left and right. All right, let's copy this error. Error. I think I got rid of my logging of songs, so I can't copy that. I've verified. Let's just send the error, see what it says. Can you help us? How is the contract store being populated? Interesting. Let's just blind accept and see if it works. It looks like the component Would any of the alternative contract components be easier to import? No errors. You gave 3 component options earlier, right? While we're waiting to see if the update worked, let's see if we can get a plan B on deck. Okay, we're trying to. It just went up and implemented it. I don't think I like what it's doing here. Everything is loading slowly, partially probably as a result of the stream. Okay, I'm seeing a play button now. Will it actually play the music? All right, so in the original implementation, it looks like we might have had something working, but we're still getting this null doohickey. Let me reference another implementation. Let's go back to our original, and let's see if we can figure out how to get, where is song cover player actually being used? Let's find this reference. It's being used on the song slug page. If contract.contract address. Okay, so it looks like maybe we need to just wrap it with this. I don't like that we gotta do it like this, but if this is all we gotta do, let's at least try it. Someone's here. Was not expecting a guest. Una segunda, porfa. Ok, ya regresamos. Seguimos adelante. Let's see what we got now. Hopefully, this update is going to make it so that we don't render the component until we actually have a contract address, at which point we will render it. And hopefully this causes us to succeed. Our fingers will stay crossed. Nope, we're still not getting it. Let's take a deeper look at song cover player. Working here, how can we update this file? So the error doesn't occur. Error, misspelled error. Copy the error message. Can we get any updates? Contract data is being fetched server side before the song player coverage is rendered. That's why it works. Fetch the contract data server side before passing it into the component. Initialize the contract store with the voting options. Use the use contract hook to fetch the data before rendering. Let's go with option 3, since it's the most direct solution. Let's blind accept, I think. Blind accept. Fast refresh, had to perform a full reload due to the runtime error. That makes sense. It's doing a refresh. What are we seeing over here? Cannot read property. I don't think it's done a full refresh yet. It's compiling. Compiled our auth. Compiling intercom. Okay, it looks like it just rendered. Fingers crossed. Are we going to get success here or another set of errors? No errors so far. Don't get too optimistic. We've gotten to this place before. Compiling not found. That's never a good sign. Unless it's a normal thing and I'm just pulling it out for no reason. I get nervous when I make a change and it's a slow load time and I don't know if the change is actually going to work. But the change seems simple and we're seeing stuff load now, which is making me optimistic that we are actually going to get it. Let's see if we do. Now we are actually getting further than we did before. But we still need to see if we can actually play the music. Very, very, very slow loading. For everybody that's tuning in, if you're seeing this slow load time, what is the value that you're getting out of the stream? Leave a comment below, like, subscribe. Tell me, what are you tuning into if the stream is me yapping and the code change is just going slow because our builds are slow. Part of it is because we're live streaming, so streaming does slow down my build. But I am also not on my phone like I find myself going. So Do I lose more time in the slowness that comes from streaming, or do I lose more time when I scroll on my phone and get distracted? I would just like this to load. I mean, I guess I could just push it. I could just push it, and it might be faster to push it, so let's try doing that. I'm going to push these changes. I'm going to try to push these changes. Let's add it. Let's add the comment, commit it, push it. I'm still not seeing any music showing up here. So let's, before we prompt cursor anymore, let's open up a pull request, check it out on Vercel, and see if our changes are working when the server is not running on my local computer. Open up a pull request to main. Once we've got the pull request open, we should have an auto deploy to Vercel. Yeah, we're stuck. What is the component being used on the home page to render all of the PFPs that are over there? What is the component being used on the home page to render the PFP with on-click music playback? Do not make any changes, just research. Let's see what the AI does. We're building. I'm still not seeing any play button over here. It does broad search. It slowly refines itself until it finds it. They're using Song Cover Player, which is the same thing we're using here. The key difference is that the contract data is being properly initialized in the contract store. Real-time trending songs gets the contract data. State.mints, state.get contracts by address. And then where are, is this self-referential? Where is get contract by address being used? Okay. And now where mints reward, and then we've got the table row, and then we've got a contract address that's being passed in. So it looks like a key difference. Let me see if I can do this with voice. And only the contract address is passed down to the children, whereas in voting option row, we are calling use contract store multiple times in each instance of voting option row, period. Can you highlight how the difference in these architectures might cause the error that we've been seeing? I think trying to do voice dictation actually caused a couple errors, so I'll try typing it out some more. Let me just verify that the mic's picking up on the stream. Oh, maybe it did get it all. And I'm seeing that my voice is being picked up here on the stream, so I think everything's fine. Okay, it looks like the key difference is that the real-time trending songs component at real-time, it's out of space, trending songs component is using the use contract store once in the parent component. Yep. And only the contract address is passed down to the children, and those children are rows, right? Yeah. Rows. Whereas in voting option row, let's tag voting option row. Whereas in at voting option row, we are calling the use contract store multiple times or not multiple times. We're calling in each instance of the voting row multiple differences, real-time trending song. Oh, did I get it twice? Let's delete some of that extra text and submit it and see if it's able to fix the discrepancies. Yeah, we're getting race conditions right now. To fix this, we should follow the same pattern. Fetch all contract data once at the parent level, populate the contract store with all the data, pass only the contract address down to the children. Yes, please implement the solution you suggested. I don't like this architecture at all. We just want a simple playback. We should not need to go and load in all this data, but I was requested to use the shared component. So let's continue down this path a little bit more. If it continues to persist, I'm just going to fork the component and make a reduced version that focuses on the music playback. But let's try to follow the architecture now that we understand it a little bit more. In the top level table, it should be calling the use contracts once, and then it sets our contracts. And from there, I believe it should have updated voting option row. Voting option row should then have gotten rid of the use contract store. And now we just use the song cover player. The changes I've made follow the pattern. In the voting options table, it fetches all the contract table in parallel using use contract. It waits for the contracts to load. It populates the contract store with all the contracts, shows a loading state while the contracts are being fetched, only renders children when all the data is ready. And then in the voting option row, it removes the contract data management, simply uses it with the contract address. No need for loading state since the parent ensures the data is ready. Hopefully this fixes it. The path sounds correct. Let's see if the implementation is as brilliant, is as functional as the confidence in the AI makes me think it is. And now we wait for the long compilations. I lack understanding with how some of these components were built. These components are complex, and as a result, you actually need to understand a lot about the component before you can implement it. Clean code should be simple, modular, reusable, and easy to pick up and reuse. Components should not require external dependencies, especially ones that are not well stated or documented for a component. The more dependencies a component has, the less likely it is to be modular and composable across the system. Because as I'm seeing, each point of friction is an opportunity for me to say, screw this shared component, I'm going to build a new one. And as we've already seen, we already have 3 different player components. So these are signs to me that the player component is too complex and is too monolithic, too connected to other components, and not modular enough to be a top tier reusable component. Rendered more hooks than during the previous render. I'm fine with that. Not especially happy with it rendering more, but let's make it work. Let's see if we can make it work. I'm getting errors and that there's a song missing in my previous deployment, so I can't even test if my previous deployment worked. Let's hope this one makes progress. We have 2 options. Either this works and we've spent 40 minutes getting to the first update, and then we can keep moving forward with a pull request, shipping it, moving on to the next one. Or it doesn't work, and then we really need to question, we've been sitting here for 40 minutes working on the same task. We still have not progressed. Does it still make sense for us to continue to go down the current path? Or do we dig deeper into this shared component and rebuild it in a way that is easier for us to use with fewer external dependencies on the build? I would like us to build momentum because we've spent 40 minutes hitting the same problem and we have not moved forward. And so this is when I start to feel defeated and start to feel like I am not being effective in my use of my energy. And so it is important that we focus on making positive momentum right now so as to avoid spinning our wheels with 0 progress and seeing the emotional impacts of a lack of progress in my external reality based off of the work that I'm doing with my attention. And a part of this issue is the slow rebuild time that is compounded by my live streaming. This is just crazy how slow it is. We've got 8,000 hidden messages. Looks like it just stopped. Looks like it just gave up. Let's try loading the page again. It's just stopping. We're just getting an empty page. What's going on here? That's fine. I'm ignoring what you're saying about your hooks. Just stop giving me an empty page. That's weird. Page is finished loading. We still see loading. And then the page goes blank. Okay, this is not feeling like a productive path that we're going down. Is the streaming slowing me down significantly? Should I stop that? I no longer feel confidence in this reusable component. Let's dive deeper into it, see what it's doing, and see if there's any way that I can I might need to stop streaming so that I can speed up my build, because right now it seems to be slowing down my build. At the page level component, it is doing server-side rendering It's getting contracts by Slug. Song cover player is using contract. That one's getting a single. I don't want the single Slug. I want the page is just blank now. So there's probably a reason for why it is so complex, and that when you play a song, you want the other ones to pause, and I can get that. But right now it's not working. I was told to make this work. I think, how can we progress? The song playback might be the hardest one. I'm starting to think that I should put song playback on hold and focus on some of the other tasks which are more in my wheelhouse. I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this task on hold for song playback. There's components that I lack information on. And so rather than trying to fight the uphill battle of either creating a new component or forking an existing, creating a new component or trying to get more information, I'm going to move on to my other points and try to get those built. And then I can tell the team and have someone else on the team, whoever built these components, can fix them. Let's just discard our changes. Discard, please. Get rid of it. Yep, get rid of it all. Let's check out a new branch. Check out the new branch name. Oh, I just checked it out from, I checked it out from a state that I didn't want to check it out from. So let's get checkout main, get branch dash B, branch name, get checkout dash B, branch name, get push origin, branch name dash F. Hopefully that forces it. Okay, it looks like I have just done that. Let's go back to pnpm dev. We should now be branched off of main with our new changes. Let's go back to instructions and skip play song. Go to number 35. Let's skip 34 for now. Please implement step 35. Goal is to get some positive momentum. We've spent 47 minutes building. We have not made any pull requests. Pull requests should be getting made on a much faster scale. Refetch interval, keep previous data while fetching new data. Refetch interval, don't refetch when the window is not focused. Resecond, la. It's doing stuff. Now we also need to make sure the data is refetched immediately after a vote is submitted. Let's update the voting option table to handle this. How's the voting option table going to handle it? Curious. Query client, invalidate the query on a success toast. That sounds awesome. Just invalidate the query. That sounds like a great solution. Let's see if it correctly implemented that solution. We'll need to do two things. I'll refresh the vote page. Hopefully it'll load. I also need to go into Supabase and delete my votes so that I can vote again, because I've already voted in this vote. In order to do that, I'm going to go into the database. I'm going to find the, I should just be able to go into the voting options and delete my own, because I know which vote I did, because I know how many points I have, and the number of points that I have is distinct from any other person who has voted. We go into the voting votes table. It's already filtered on what we need. I believe I'm the 12219. No, I think I'm 2921. I don't think I have that many points. If so, I can just delete it. That way I can vote again and then verify that the numbers are all updated instantly instead of having to refresh the page. My kitty Solana is outside looking very cute with the sunset, and I want to join her. but I need to get momentum on this project. Born to watch the sunset, forced to ship code. At least we have mate. It only took 2 minutes. And now I'm going to need to connect my wallet. We'll see how long that takes. At about an hour, I will wrap up this video. And so I think based off of the time that I have, what I'm going to be able to do is make one single update, open up a pull request, get it shipped, and then I will wrap up this stream and I'll keep shipping on my own without the burden of trying to stream while I'm shipping. I'm anticipating that my speed will increase without the burden of streaming. Page is loading again. We are in a wallet that does not have any points. Switch over to our main account. As soon as that loads, I'll click the connect button. MetaMask is also slow. Okay, looks like we have switched accounts, but MetaMask is still thinking about it. Why am I still using MetaMask? Oh yeah, because I don't have any points on my Phantom wallet, which is faster. If I did, I would use it. I'm just going to continue. Let's click the connect button. Connect, 1,000, 1,000. Takes about 2 seconds between button click and the page is responding. Long time between Privy says MetaMask is being prompted to. I'm not even seeing MetaMask getting open, so I'm going to manually open it and hope that that is a faster process. And I don't know how, but we're now logged out. 30 seconds ago, we were fine and logged in. Now we're logged out. La mierda. Well, I guess we're logging into MetaMask again. I dislike MetaMask. It is not pleasing to me. No me gusta. It's put me in an account I don't want to be in. The request has already timed out. The button clicks are taking multiple sentences. 1,000, 1,000. There we go. We check 1,000, 1,000. Click update. Connect our main account. Doesn't matter because the wallet connection's already timed out. It's trying to connect me with an incorrect account again, so we're going to cancel. Try to switch it manually. Click cancel again. Try to swap our wallet. I'm going to try to scroll up to the top. Click. Is it going to load the wallet this time, or are we going to see it log out again? Is the question. It has switched. Is it going to finish the spinny wheel? This is how long it takes me to switch a wallet in MetaMask. This is unusable. It seems the build process on CoopRex is very slow. And so this might be the only time I stream a build on the main Coop Records app, because it has taken me nearly an hour just to try to get a single change made. And taking 3+ minutes between a build is a little bit too slow for me to be impactful. It's way too slow for me to be impactful. Required is about 15 seconds at the slowest. Actual is about 3 minutes. So that's orders of magnitude slower than what's acceptable for a normal dev locally building environment. So I most likely won't be streaming this app anymore, but I'll be back with a different app. I don't think we're going to make any progress on MetaMask swapping over during this stream. Try closing it, but let's see if we just got logged out again. It might have just kicked us back out because I didn't wait. And now that it's logged me out, I'm feeling like this is probably where we're going to wrap it up. I know I wanted to make some positive momentum on the stream, but we accept the reality for what it is. If you got any value out of this stream, whether it was just seeing how slow I build or learning more about the Coop Records protocol, please leave a like or a comment. Click the subscribe or the follow button. Anything you do helps this video and my channel in general to get more views, which helps musicians to stay independent. Thank you for tuning in. This is Sweetman, signing off.